Well, I wonder, would you like to become rich? Now, I mean really rich. I'm thinking Euro millions rich. The answer in your head is probably, of course, I'd love to become rich. Because when we think about becoming rich, we think all about the benefits that will bring to us. But often with wealth comes a dark side. And it's the dark side of wealth that we see in Amos chapter 1, verses 9 and 10. If you've been following along with us in this little series, you'll know that God is in the business of calling out different nations for their sinfulness in this opening chapter of Amos. Why? Well, because God hates oppression and corruption, and He loves people. When God sees human beings, those created in His image and likeness, being oppressed, it makes Him rightfully angry. And already we've seen God pronounce judgment on Damascus in verse 3 to 5, and then in Gaza in verse 6 to 8. And now His attention turns to their neighbours in the northwest, Tyre. Read with me from verse 9. It says, "Thus says the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Tyre and for 4, I will not revoke the punishment, because they delivered up a whole people to Edom and did not remember the covenant of brotherhood. So I will send fire upon the wall of Tyre, and it shall devour her strongholds." You've probably heard of Tyre and Sidon. We read of it elsewhere in the Bible. But they were 2 coastland cities in a place called Phoenicia. And they were also very powerful cities. In fact, they controlled the prices of what things could be shipped in and out of the country for. In other words, they were very wealthy. And you know, the Bible doesn't say that wealth is bad or sinful. But with wealth comes certain temptations. We're tempted to see other people sometimes as consumers. We see them as a means to more financial gain or security. We no longer see them as what they truly are, divine image bearers of God. And that really is the error or the challenge that evidently Tyre and Sidon have failed. They've fallen prey to this mindset that other people, because of my wealth, are just merely consumers, a means to my financial gain. We're told here that they broke the covenantal brotherhood. We're not exactly sure what that means, but it appears that they've started ripping people off, exploiting them, using them as a means to more selfish gain, making deals with people and then just going back on their word. And so once again, we see that God hates oppression against people. And so what does He do? He sends judgment. Again, as was the case yesterday in verse 7, this judgment is depicted like a fire. God also says that He will devour the strongholds of Tyre. Again, as we look at history, we can see that God would be true to His word, and it did come later on through Alexander the Great in 332 BC. God used Alexander the Great to judge Tyre. You see, money and power, well, they're not bad things, but they do have a way of bending us towards corruption. And so your reflection question today is to ask yourself, where might this be true in my life? Maybe not on a big scale, but maybe on a small scale. Maybe I've been given a particular role or position in school or university or church. With power or with money or with all these things comes an added temptation to use it to leverage over people and to ultimately exploit them, maybe in big ways or maybe in small ways.